Have you ever met anyone with more toes or fingers than they should have?
No, and I don't know if I'd be able to continue a conversation if I did.
You think you'd just have to just keep looking at them?
Well, no, I just wanted to at least address the elephant in the room, because also that, like, if I had 6 fingers, or 5 fingers and 1 thumb on my hand, I'd be like, "Nice to meet you. Yes, I did just shake your hand with 5 fingers and 1 thumb."
Yeah.
And they'd just be like, "Oh, okay, it's out
And you
there
just
now."
want to know how functional it is, don't you? And what you can do with it.
Yeah, or I'd call myself like Johnny Six Fingers, and
So
that way
what-
everyone knows.
I reckon probably the best situation you could have is if you had another opposable thumb on the opposite side. Imagine all the stuff you could do.
You could just really, really hold things.
I think your little finger would become a lot more dexterous as well, wouldn't it?
That's a good point. Do you think over time it would grow? Not on your hand, but evolutionary. If like all of your kids
Maybe.
had the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Start a petition for an extra thumb to...
Although getting gloves would be a hassle.
Damn, yeah.
That would be a real hassle. But then at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, if all you had to do was like make your own oven gloves and cold winter gloves and all of those things, anything that you have to put on your hands, I think for the added benefit of another opposable thumb, it might be worth it.
Yeah. Anyway, swearing, spoilers, and opinions, and all that to come in this episode of 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. Hello and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
Hi there, I'm Kieran.
Yes, you are. And this is the podcast where we watch the IMDb's top 250 films. We say stuff about them and we let you know whether they're worth staying indoors for or not. Now, this week we are watching...
LA Confidential.
And it is...
a film from the year 1997. And it came out, in that year. And now it is 107. It's 107 on the list.
Yeah. Sorry, I put off Kieran with some chewing gum. So, what do you think this film's going to be about, Kieran?
I think it's going to be about a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
on the
most films are.
On the lowdown in LA.
On the lowdown?
Yeah.
What's the lowdown?
On the LD.
the LD.
On the LD in LA.
Okay.
LD in LA, yeah.
LD in LA.
Yeah, that whole thing. So it's like a lot of like secret stories, conspiracies, maybe, or it's like or maybe it's just like a legal system thing, and they have just lots of files, like spies.
Yeah,
lots of files with confidential on it.
Yeah, that's the film. It's just like opening drawers and just like, oh, this one's confidential. Oh, this one's confidential. This one's confidential.
Just before we started recording, dear listeners, we were watching Rick and Morty, and it was Interdimensional Cable 2. And I just
that sounds like something that could be on.
Like, welcome to LA Confidential. Oh, that's confidential.
We got some confidential files here. This one's confidential. Oh, this one's confidential too. Very confidential.
That's confidential as well. This is also confidential. Can't tell you about that. Confidential.
Don't even look at it.
What do you think is going to happen?
So I think it's going to be multiple stories of public figures,
what?
It's going to be stories of jazz artists having confidential discussions about. It's going to be the story of jazz artists having confidential discussions about the way that jazz is going. Okay. And on a reel, though, I think that it's going to be multiple sort of stories that are all linked together of like confidential meetings between
jazz meetings.
No, presidents and like public government officials, people like it's like lots of scandals.
So what's the deal
all
with
of the
LA?
Scandals that happen in LA?
Oh,
and it's there's a secret undercover
Underground?
network of people planting all of these seeds, and then it blows up.
That's marijuana in California.
Yeah,
planting seeds,
right?
Making marijuana.
It's
grow.
also just farming.
Hey, I see.
Yeah. So and LA.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
comprehensive.
Let's then go and watch the film.
Let's do it.
as we've returned, would you like to do some fast thoughts?
Yeah, I would like to do some fast thoughts.
Okay, it feels like they're not going to be very fast now, but film noir.
I was.
Detectives.
Thank you. Keep going.
Murder.
LA. Crooked cops.
Prostitution.
Scandals.
Cars.
Heroin.
You said crooked cops.
Reputations.
Irish man.
Lad.
Boyo.
Oh, hey! I was about to say that one. And heroin.
Yeah, let's just leave it there.
Classic heroin.
So are you ready with your 15-second pitch?
I think so. This is going to be bloody difficult.
Yeah, this is going to be fucking hard. All right, on your marks, ready, set, let's go.
There's a crime that happens. It gets wrapped up, but three people clock onto the fact that it's not actually wrapped up, and so they're going to open the case again. But they discover there's some bullshit going on. It turns out that it's the chief of police who was under the whole thing the whole time. He tries to cover up his tracks and kills fuckloads of people. The two of the three people are original, still surviving at the end of it.
17 seconds. I thought you were going to get there, but there was still more for you to say, and thus...
Would I have said the whole story without... If I cut those last 2 seconds, would I have said the whole story?
No, I think because you had to do that last bit, didn't you? Really, you couldn't have.
I don't think so. I don't think it would have been enough to say, oh, and also it was the chief the whole time.
Well, no, it wouldn't. I think you had to.
It's really hard to do. Basically, it was hard to do, and I'm okay with 17 seconds, especially because I got 15 last week. So I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't think you should feel bad about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. Do we want to do an actual synopsis?
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty difficult. So I've got the IMDb synopsis in front of me, just in case we need a little bit of help. So the film starts with Danny DeVito giving a overview of sort of the times and what's going on. So what's happened is a major crime lord, I can't remember what his name is, Mickey Cohen.
Yep.
He has been sent to prison, leaving a power vacuum, which has led to lots of people trying to take over the crime in LA. Organized crime in LA.
So we're introduced to this character of Sid, who is Danny DeVito, and he is the writer for a magazine that's like gives scoops on
Hot scoops.
Yeah, hot scoops on celebrities and I don't know, politicians and
whatnot.
Called
Hush Hush.
Called Hush Hush, yes, exactly. We're then introduced to Bud White.
Yeah, and he's pulling up in the car with his partner. He is a detective, and he's like watching through the window in a house where someone who's just come back from prison or something like that, or been very recently come out of prison, and he's shouting, and it looks like a domestic is happening, if not right about to happen. And he calls it in, and then goes to intervene. He pulls like a sled or something, like Christmas decorations off of the top, and the guy comes out and is like, what the fuck's going on? And Bud White just kind of kicks the shit out of him and then handcuffs him to a wall thing.
A
railing. And the woman comes out and he gives her something. I'm not sure what it was that he gives her.
He gives her his, like the husband's wallet and stuff.
Right, and he's like, have you got somewhere to go? You know, well, go and be safe. Off with you, my child. And as he's like going back to the car, he sees another car in the drive, or just down the road.
Liquor store. They go to the liquor store.
Oh yeah, sorry, you're right. Yeah. So they're actually going to the liquor store to pick up booze for their Christmas party. So they go to the liquor store. Whilst he's in the liquor store, there's like this beautiful woman, and he sort of looks at her and he's just like, Merry Christmas. And she's like, Merry Christmas, officer. And he's like, is it that obvious? It's just like, it's written all over your face. Your forehead. It's practically written on your forehead.
Yeah.
And he walks out and he sees her get into a car with a woman in the back of the car who has like a bandage sort of thing over her nose. We later find out that it was because of plastic surgery, but when he goes over there and he's like, is everything okay? A guy gets out of the front of the car and he's like, hey, you buzz off. And then he's like, hey, I'm a police officer. Why don't you come over here? And he goes over and then he like slams his head he slams the guy that got out of the car's head onto the boot of the car, takes his gun away and like looks at his ID. Turns out that this guy's like, I used to be a cop, and he's like, and Bob White's like, I don't give a fuck. And then he just like leaves him or whatever and goes over to the woman and he's like, you okay? She's like, yeah, no, I'm fine. Obviously you're misunderstanding the situation. I just fell down some stairs or something like that. Actually, she didn't say fall down some stairs because that sounds obvious that that's not what happened, but it was something else.
Well, she didn't actually explain the situation, I don't think. She's like, it's not what it looks like.
Yeah.
And also, Lynn comes back and says there's nothing wrong with her. So Lynn is the beautiful woman.
But there's also a guy in the car next to her. What's his name? It's like Vince, something like that.
It's not Vince. The other person in the car is Pierce Patchett.
Right. Yeah.
Pierce Patchett. Yeah. Now, okay, we gotta breeze through a few more things. We've also got another main character who is played by Kevin Spacey, who is called
Jack Vincennes.
Jack Vincennes.
Vincennes.
And as well as being a detective, he is also he's in cahoots with Sid.
Yeah.
In as much as providing stuff for like a TV show.
Yeah, he seems to be like an consultant or something. Yeah, for like a detective TV show.
Yeah, and also he gives scoops for Sid, and Sid provides just like some cash in return. Now, finally, we've got is it Exley?
Yeah, Ed Exley.
Ed Exley, who is fit,
played by Guy Pearce, and
he, so he's like the new guy in the force, and his dad used to be a cop as well, very well revered cop.
I felt like he has like a very like his top teeth come out very far. You know what I mean? Not like they don't come out of his lip, but like that part of his jaw almost.
I did also see that, and I was weird. Like, I recognize that, but it works for him, and I'm still digging it, so I'm okay with that. Okay. So he's basically like, listen, I'm not the same as my dad, so
he wants to be a detective.
He wants to be a detective,
and he's talking to the chief,
who was called Doug Smith.
No,
Dudley.
It's
called Dudley Smith, and so what happens on the Christmas Eve? There's this Christmas party. A bunch of people get. So there's like some Mexicans who have been brought in, and it's reported that these Mexicans supposedly killed 2 police officers.
Yeah.
Loads of these police officers get real drunk at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
And someone says that the Mexicans are downstairs, and so fuckloads of the police officers, pretty much everyone except the new guy Ed Exley,
who's like, guys, come on, you don't all need to go down there. Come on, stop it. We don't need to run down. And they're all obviously going down to just shout and beat them up. Which is what happens.
Egg people on. But there is a photographer, takes a picture. It's all in the press. There's some kind of lawsuit that goes on. Ed Exley works the politics. Long story short, he works the politics to make himself lieutenant.
Well, yeah, but so what he says is that someone needs to go down. For this, like, he can't, the force can't be seen to let people just get away. So he's like, look, you need to get rid of some people, maybe some people close to retirement. One of those people is Bud White's partner, Stanson. I can't remember what his first name is. And so he is
Stens. We could just call him Stens.
Stens. He is obviously made to retire or fired or whatever. And everyone now hates Exley and thinks of him as a rat. So he is made to retire, and Bud, let's just call him White. White and Stens have a conversation where White's like, "Hey, let's go for a drink." He's like, "No, I've got a hot date, but maybe I'll catch you later in the week." He's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And then we later find that in a cafe called the Night Owl. Ed gets called to a homicide over at the Night Owl.
There was 3 people who shot the cashier, and then they took everyone else who was in the cafe into the gents and shot 6 people dead in there. One of them being Stens, who we later find out was on a date with the woman who was in the car with the nose job.
Yeah.
Because the woman in the car with the nose job is a porn actress who gets plastic surgery done, so hence the nose bandage, by the other guy who was in the car at the time.
Yeah.
So let's go back into, instead of trying to solve all the links already, let's go back into how it gets a bit deeper. So what they realize is that they've got these 3 black men who they found these 3 black men because they're like, oh, we've tracked down from the car and whatever.
There was
else,
shotguns in the car or something.
and whatever else.
Yeah.
So Ed and Ed Exley and Jack Vincennes, they go off and they find these 3 black men, bring them in. Ed does some mad interrogation.
Incredible.
Just
almost like scripted.
Top notch. It was amazing. Yeah. And he basically gets them to confess to some stuff, but not to everything. Like they don't confess to shooting the people.
No.
But they confess to some other shit that's happening.
Yeah.
They escape, and Ed Exley gets a scoop on where they are.
Yeah.
So they go, him and some like...
No, Bud White. So basically, whilst Ed is questioning them all, one of them that's pretty much breaking is saying something along the lines of like he just wanted to get rid of his cherry and they weren't supposed to hurt her and all of this. And Bud has this thing where he like is incredibly protective of women and hates to see men abuse women
because his dad abused his mum.
Yeah, his dad killed his mum in front of him whilst he was chained to a radiator.
Yeah.
So he like runs in and he like does some Russian roulette real quick, like with a gun in the guy's mouth, saying "Where is she?" And then he eventually tells them, so they go off there. And what they find there is a lady who is chained to a bed. And in the other room, so this is Bud is in there. He goes in first. He finds the lady chained to a bed, and she sort of nods to the next room. He goes to the next room, sees a guy watching TV, eating cereal in a wife beater.
Bud White makes it look like that there was an altercation going on. So he shoots the guy. He shoots the guy in the wife beater, but before the guy in the wife beater can do anything about it. But he gives a gun to the guy in the wife beater after he shot him, and he also shoots a shot in the door frame to make it look like the guy shot Bud White shot the door frame, and in retaliation, Bud White shot the guy in the chest. Does that make sense?
So wonderfully explained.
Yeah. So eloquent. Now, I really want to explain what happened with Ed Exley going and finding these 3 black guys who have been accused of killing the people in the Night Owl.
Yeah, because it's after that they hear, he goes to the car and he hears that those guys have escaped, so then they go after them.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, he goes after them, finds them in this apartment with some other guys who are doing. Oh, it's like, where'd you get the weed from? Is that what it is? And
yeah, that's where they go.
Yes,
that's where they go, and they find the woman there.
Oh, okay.
And then
okay. So they go to this other place where they find the 3 black guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's like a bit of a standoff, in as much as there's you got Ed Exley, who's got a massive shotgun. You got his partner or something,
so some other dude,
so some other detective or whatever, and you got 2 guys, like 3 guys around a table, and two the other black guys in another room.
Yeah,
and no one actually makes a shot until someone accidentally like knocks a glass or a bottle on the floor, and then all of a sudden the other policeman just shoots that guy in the chest. Shots start getting fired, and everyone, basically, Ed just goes ahead and shoots everyone.
Yeah.
He runs after one of the guys down the corridor and shoots him in the lift.
Yeah.
So Ed is praised as this like the person who avenged the deaths of 6 people in the Night Owl, and who killed criminals, and he was in the line of duty and all this stuff. So he gets a medal, and he's awarded
the Medal of Valor, and he gets the nickname Shotgun Ed.
Yeah. So something that happens. So this is all established, but when is it, Jordan, that they start smelling some dodgy shit going on?
So it's sort of like Ed is speaking to the Mexican lady at one point, and he's asking her some questions, and he's like, "What time did they leave?" Because the theory is that they left after raping this woman and then did the Night Owl thing. So he's like, "When did they leave?" She's like, "It might have been 12 o'clock. I'm not sure." And he's like, "What do you mean it might have been?" And then she basically just says that no one would have cared about a Mexican lady being raped. So she tied it. She said she did what she had to do because she wanted vengeance. So she basically said to him that she made it up, that they were involved with the Night Owl killing. And that's when Ed realizes actually these guys weren't anything to do with it, and he starts sniffing around because he's like, "Nah, there's something is up here, not right."
Exactly.
So, meanwhile, Bud is going down the route of the ladies. So he went down the route of the ladies.
Yep.
He speaks to, because he knows obviously one of the ladies that was killed there was the lady that he spoke to in the car the other day. He goes and finds, what is the name of the guy? I've already forgotten again, that other guy that was in the car.
Oh my God. Pierce Patchett.
Is it, how do I say the last name? Patchett. So he goes and finds Patchett using his detective skills. He works it out. Patchett comes across as smooth as a cucumber. And
what? No,
they're kind of smooth. And he basically is able to sort of get him to sort of fuck off. And that's when Bud goes to see Lynn, the other lady that he met actually in the liquor store.
But the other person who goes to interview Pierce Patchett is Jack, because Jack was given a card, or he found a card in someone's wallet, which is for this essentially like a soft porn company called Fleur de Lis, where what they do is that they you can go on dates and you can have sex with people who look like movie stars.
Yeah,
which is how Pierce Patchett makes his money. He gets loads of money from this kind of thing, and he turns actresses who had big ideas of Hollywood and makes them look like movie stars.
Yeah,
and with plastic surgery, blah 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 blah.
So the reason why Jack is there is because he has spoken at a previous set party thing to a guy and set up for him to sort of speak to the DA, I think it is. Yeah. This guy's I think he's basically a prostitute, isn't he, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's how he knows about Fleur de Lis. So he goes to, because he's kind of feels bad about having set that situation up. He goes to try and find the guy, and the guy's dead. And he's like, okay, right, I need to inspect this. So that's why he goes over and sees Patchett.
Yeah.
So after this, Ed and Vincennes begin working together because Ed says that he wants to catch the guy that always gets away with it because of something that happened to his dad. And Vincennes is like, okay, I'll help you if you help me find this. They team up. Vincennes is sent to follow Bud White because Ed, I don't know, either doesn't trust him or something is going on there. And as he's following him, Vincennes hears about a person called Meeks who was dealing with heroin as an old police officer. And later on, whilst this is happening, Ed goes to the lady that was killed's mum's house and finds Meek's body. At this point, they don't know it's the body, but the body gets identified later. Essentially, what happens next is, in pursuing this investigation, Ed sleeps with, or is seduced by, Bud's love interest, who also is one of Thatcher's prostitutes. Now, pictures are taken of that, and it's all been set up by Dudley, who arranges for Bud to have seen those pictures. And obviously, knowing that Bud would go mad, he intends for Bud to go and basically kill him. So Bud goes back to where Ed is going through files, working out that Meeks was working on a case that was run by Dudley, slowly starting to put it together that Dudley was involved somehow. And whilst that's happening, obviously Bud comes, starts kicking the shit out of him. It's like, this has obviously been set up by Dudley. It was Dudley. Also, by the way, Vincennes is dead now because he went to go and see Dudley, and Dudley killed him when he realised that he was getting onto Meeks. Now,
so there's the heroin thing in there as well. So Dudley is starting to run the heroin.
Yeah,
taken over from the person who went to prison.
So final scenes, Bud and Ed are teaming up to try and get Dudley. Somehow Dudley is able to arrange for them both to turn up at this place, which is meant to be a hit. Lots of guys turn up. They take them all on. They both get shot. It looks like Bud is dead. Dudley comes in and Ed shoots him in the long run. And now Dudley is dead. And then they decide, when they speak to the chief commissioner or whatever, that what they're going to do is they're going to run with the story that Dudley was a hero. Ed gets another Medal of Valor. Turns out that Bud actually survived and he's going off into the distance with his love interest Lynn, and the film ends there. Holy fuck. So sorry, guys. That was just so difficult to sum up. It's such a, like...
There are so many things that we've missed.
Just so many strings and things. It's so...
I can't understand how anyone wrote this.
No, it's
how can you
pretty incoherent.
How can you keep track of that? You know, it's not necessarily incoherent, but like,
it makes sense watching it. But it's tough.
It's mental. Like when you watch it, there's just about enough things to keep you holding on. There was one point that I wrote down. I'm really struggling to know what we're even doing here.
Yeah,
like because it just seemed like three people doing separate things and stuff happened. But what's even the point of it?
Yeah,
and then suddenly it all just clicked.
Okay,
and then we know what we're doing.
So let's go into beefs.
Okay, go for it.
I felt like this film was like the pacing of it was so weird. Like I felt like when they caught the what they thought was the Night Owl killers, that felt like that could have been the end of the film. The way that it was like the climax, and then it was like, oh, wait, he did it. They worked it out and they solved the puzzle.
But at the same time, you knew that it was quite short by that time.
Yeah, but it just felt like it was dragging on to me. Like, like that's what I mean. Like both, it felt like the pacing of it made me feel like that this could be the end because it feels so dragged out up until that point. And also, I just had no fucking idea what really was there. It felt like there was something going on underneath. But it doesn't give you any clues. It's not like one of those ones where you can work out who did the murder before you actually get to the end of the film, sort of thing. So yeah, I just felt like that bit was kind of weird and shit. I mean, also the fact that it was just like, oh, the black guys did it, and everyone was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So on that topic,
a bit upsetting.
Just like the amount of classic racism that there was going on,
and sexism, just like
and homophobia.
It was really just not.
So it's set in like what the 70s, 80s?
No, it's set in like the 50s.
50s. Yeah, sorry, I got that way wrong. Yeah. So it's set around then, or maybe even earlier.
I'm not sure.
No, I think it's 50s because Marilyn Monroe and stuff, and whatever. Yeah, so it's around that time. I totally agree. It was really annoying how it's more than annoying. It was despicable how they might have been like portraying it accurately, but the amount of like racism when they all beat up the Mexicans and they were like, okay, well, using those three black men as scapegoats because, you know, black men for sure.
Yeah.
And then when they were interrogating people saying, oh, you had a sissy or whatever, like, so when you go to prison.
Yeah.
And so basically like people using, because they're so defensive of being called gay or whatever else.
They'd give up literally they'd basically plead guilty to hold their reputation as not homosexual.
The same with the DA. He's like he didn't want any of his of his gay pictures being leaked, so he allowed a certain dodgy law or dodgy pardon or whatever it is to go through.
Yeah, there was the actor that played the woman that died's mum was fucking shocking.
She was so annoying.
So there's a point where I think it's Bud, can like smell that there's something dead or something weird going on behind a room that's got like draft excluders. What are they called?
Extractors? Draft?
No, they're not extractors. No, it's just like a towel at the bottom of your door.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's behind here? And she's like, oh, don't go in there. Don't worry about that. Don't move that.
So it's
just like, come on. Why?
It looked like she was like, from the way she was saying that, it was okay. It's just
foreshadowing as if she's actually knows something, and didn't.
But she doesn't actually.
It's so it's like the actor knew what was going to happen, and was just trying to make it, or like the actor didn't know what was going to happen, and they were just trying to make it like a red herring sort of thing.
Yeah,
and it was just unnecessary.
Just be one or the other, please.
Yeah.
That was just silly. At 22 minutes and 42 seconds, there's a point where Bud White goes into a bar to meet with Dudley Smith, and Dudley Smith's like, I want you to put more muscle in, here's your badge and your gun back, blah, 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 blah. And just as Bud White sits down, it was blaringly obvious for me. There was an overdub.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Bud White moves his mouth, he says something, and it's so... The audio is different as well. I could hear it, but like like the way that he moves his mouth is not the same as what he says. It just isn't. It's
Right.
so obvious, and that really pissed me off. There's another point as well where there's a really weird thing that happens at 5 minutes 31 seconds. Where
Exactly.
Yeah, where Sid shakes Jack's hand. It's the first time that we've seen them be in the same scene. The camera, at the same time as the handshake goes up and down, the camera goes up and down.
Right. Okay.
Maybe
they couldn't actually shake hands, and they needed to add that in post.
And so I thought, oh, okay, this is going to be an arty thing that happens throughout the film, something significant about this Sid character.
Yeah.
But no, it was just a camera shake.
Yeah.
And there is no way that I can't see how that's in my version on Amazon Prime as opposed to and not. It's not as if I was watching a shitey copy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just really confused how that was there. That just really bugged me, and I rewatched it several times. Like reloaded the page, and it was there every time. That was just really, really weird.
I had a note that just at specifically 1 hour and 31 minutes, bored.
Okay.
Yeah. So at that point, I was just like, oh, fuck it. No, I've got significantly less notes after that bit as well. I'm just like, oh, fucking.
Why do people wear gloves when collecting evidence?
Right. I mean,
for
Jesus.
fuck's sake.
They wear gloves for other bits. Like he put on a glove when he was going to kill Sid.
Yeah, smothering him.
But
but not when collecting it. Well, it seems like Ed Exley he's keen on keeping things prim and proper. Like he got a handkerchief in his hand when he was opening the door and stuff like that when he went to the Night Owl. But when Bud White was collecting all the evidence, he had his hands all over it. Same with Jack when he was looking at the weed. Jack just pocketed the weed. He's like, I'll have that.
Yeah, I'll have that, mate. Just stick it in my pocket. No one's gonna smell that. It's not like it's in like a Tupperware, like well hidden, like anti-smell. It's literally just in a plastic bag.
Exactly. The fucking Ed Exley was.
And, sorry, just on the note of Jack Vincennes,
right?
Why is he just like in a super sharp, smart suit? Like he does not look anything like a police officer or a detective compared to everyone else. Like, I don't understand. And when he's being given money from Sid, it's like $50. It's not like he's making bank off of him. You know, like I don't understand why he looks like so much more of a movie star than any of the others.
Because he wants to be, because they were saying like, oh, we got to do something. We got to say like, if you don't remember, like near the start of the film was that whole
because he likes to be consultant, or we don't even know if that's what he's doing. He's just always on the set of the show.
But basically, like, it's his pet project, or is it something that he wants to be involved with TV more than anything else. And so he wants to make himself look like a movie star or look like he's in the biz more than he is a police officer.
It's so weird. Like, how is he just allowed to sort of be like
and
that?
Only $50 as well for a scoop.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like much.
Especially the way they set it up. I mean...
And also, all of his shirts have his initials on.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they all say JV. And it's
great.
like, come on, who's stealing your shirts? Do you really need to do that?
At the same time, like, back in the day, $50, how much could that have been?
It's like anyone that gets on the initial thing, like people that get their initials tattooed on them.
Yeah. I agree with you. But remember we were saying how $50 is not much?
Yeah.
How much do you reckon $50 is these days?
What, like back then?
Yeah.
Like hundo?
Do you reckon it might be a hundo?
Maybe,
man.
I
don't know.
Couple hundo,
I don't know. Maybe not that much. But I agree. It doesn't seem like a great deal. There were several times where Ed Exley is like, where the fuck are my glasses? Why not always wear your glasses?
How are you going to, like, if you are so concerned about if you're concerned enough that you need your glasses to make sure you don't shoot people, you should be also wearing them when you're driving.
Exactly.
Like,
and so it's like,
you can't get out of the
car.
car and then be like, oh, did I bring my glasses with me? No, like, you need your glasses. If you need your glasses, then you need them to drive.
Exactly. And especially when he's like, if he doesn't give a fuck about anyone and he doesn't care about ratting on people, then surely he shouldn't give a shit when people are telling him not to wear glasses.
Yeah, that's surprising that he actually sort of went in on that. And the biggest beef of all, Kieran, why the fuck did he let Dudley be a hero in the paper? Why did he let that story become Dudley was a hero?
Because then he would have got taken down for shooting Dudley.
But the point of it was that, like, Ed is like this moral paragon. Like, he does not want people to get away with things. Like that, we're built up to that throughout the whole film. And he's like, no, like I am a paragon of justice. I will not allow people to get away with things. I will snitch on my colleagues. I will do what I need to do. And he even he blows up the whole Night Owl case. Like he proves that it was wrong and that
he does even say and considering the consequences as well.
Yeah, like exactly. He's saying that he killed people under false pretenses, and that the thing that he got a Medal of Valor for is incorrect, and he should basically have not received that if that's what it was given to him for. So he's willing to make his career take a blow. Why would? And it was obvious. The guy shot him. They were in a shootout that was organized by Dudley. I'm sure he could have explained that he shot Dudley, and that's fine. It just really pisses me off that that's how it ended. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever for his characters to do that. Do you have any other beefs?
How the fuck is Bud White still alive?
Yeah, he got shot through the mouth.
Right.
And multiple times in the body.
So how the fuck's he still alive?
No, I don't know. I'm not a Dr. Keiran. I couldn't tell you.
I also don't like how everyone dies so quickly, but Jack Vincennes takes a good while. Yeah,
that's a proper movie star death, isn't it? It's like...
and then he says the name of the person who...
Rollo Tomasi.
Yeah. Got any bits and bobs?
When they interview a black guy trying to find out where the other black guys are, he gives one of them up saying that guy's righteous trash, which that was cool. I like that.
Okay.
That phrasing. And that guy said that dogs have no reason to live, which I didn't like. So
no,
two contrasting
nice.
ideas there.
Yeah.
I made a note where Jack goes to go and see Dudley at night, and it's 12 o'clock, and Dudley's making coffee, and I'm writing. I was just you don't let someone into your house at 12 o'clock at night and start making coffee.
Exactly.
But no, but literally, I'm start making cot, and then because then he shot him, and I was like, oh,
I see.
He wasn't making coffee.
Oh,
yeah.
Russell Crowe in this film looks like Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, he looks super young, doesn't he?
He looks super young, and I was like, how is that not Shia LaBeouf? LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
LaBeouf.
I was like, it's that guy. It's Malcolm in the Middle. It's...
I don't know. I don't think he really looked like him.
I couldn't stop seeing it. I especially because I don't know what else Russell Crowe's in. I had a little Google afterwards. And I was like,
Gladiator?
No, I've not seen it.
The Good Guys? Is that what it's called?
Don't know if I've seen that either.
You'd like that. It's him and Ryan Gosling.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
It's funny.
I felt like this film could easily be GTA.
It just kept reminding me of LA Noire, which I've never played, but just because it starts with LA and it's about detectives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's that.
Cool. Okay. The use of lad and boyo.
Yeah.
All right. Apparently.
Yeah.
Fucking. What's his name?
Dudley.
Thank you. Dudley Smith
is Irish,
which he is not at all throughout the whole film.
It's very strange. It's very forced.
Up until the point where I was like, oh, there isn't anything that could make me do that. Not for all the whiskey in Ireland.
Yeah, I know.
And right until that point.
I'm Irish.
Yeah, exactly. And so he says, lad.
Yeah, but
lad.
There's literally a period where
boyo.
It's in the space of about 5 minutes, he uses lad and boyo 20 times.
Yeah, but he exclusively says lad loads, and then he exclusively says boyo loads.
Yeah.
I was like, it just felt really forced, and I was not enjoying that at all. And that's probably all my bits and bobs.
So who would you be?
I'd be the DA.
Okay.
And I'd come out.
Okay.
I'd be like, I am a strong, independent man, and I'm okay with having had sex with a man.
I am a strong, independent man, and I don't need no closet.
Exactly. I don't need no closet. I'm coming out, and I'm going to be a wicked judge. So, you all can fuck off. Sorry, wife, but that's about it.
Sorry, wife.
Yeah. Sorry, wife. Fucked the boys now.
No.
Okay, who'd you be?
I don't want to be Kevin Spacey, but I do want to be Jack Vincennes.
Okay.
I don't want to be Kevin Spacey because, as it turns out, he is a sexual predator.
So that's not good.
So that's not good.
Yeah, that made me be like,
it's really hard to watch things with him in now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, because I like him, but I don't like him, but I like him. You know.
Yes.
You know. So I want to be Jack Vincennes just because that character is pretty cool. I think like when they're like, there's a bit where they're talking to someone, I'm not sure who, and they're like, oh, Jack Vincennes. Oh no, it's the Patchett. He's like, Jack Vincennes, Hollywood star, and like, and Jack just turns to him and gives him some like finger guns, and it's just like, yeah, I'm that movie cop.
Yeah.
Everyone knows I'm the movie guy.
I'm the smooth guy. I like what we do with the being section half the time, because I tend to want to be someone to like change something in the film, which you do, like, you know, probably 50-50, but then the other half of the time is you're like, I want to be that person because they're really cool.
Yeah, I just want to do that.
Like, what was the one a couple of weeks ago where you're like, she was real sassy. I want to be sassy.
Yeah, Intouchables, the head like
maid
lady.
Yeah, she's sassy.
She's just sassy. She's a sassy lady.
She is a sassy lady.
It's great. Yeah.
If you were to bring someone in, who would you bring?
Well, can I bring in a character that someone plays who's already in the film, but like they play a different character?
Would
you know, like from another thing?
That's always been the thing that we do. Every time you ask this question, that's always
okay. All right. So Danny DeVito is no one other than Frank from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I
knew. As soon as I saw his name on the list, I was like,
as soon as he starts talking, I'm just like, it's Frank. It's Frank from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's not Danny DeVito anymore. He's Frank. And I just want him in the film because he's the greasiest person. And like, I mean, the guy's already pretty greasy in this film.
Yeah.
But like, he'd just be even more greasy.
He is so small. He is so small. I don't think Kevin Spacey is that
it's
tall.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like there's some sort of
him.
imaginary line that is like just before you become actually like a dwarf or something like that. And he's just above it. So he's like still regarded as a normal person. Well, I say normal person.
1.47 meters.
I'd give me that in foot. That means nothing to me.
4.10 inches.
4.10 inches.
4 feet.
Jesus Christ. That is some impressive camera work. They've just got like him right up against the camera.
Like a GoPro. Really, really tight.
No. How you doing down there, Danny? Not too bad.
But he still talks really low.
Yeah.
4 feet 10 inches.
Wow. Yeah, that's small.
That is small.
Yeah. I just want him to be in there, but I want him to be Frank and just do some greasy shit and just be...
No, like, oh man, I think I like him and the shoutiest of all the shouty people from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The squeaky shouty person, Charlie.
Oh, Charlie, yeah. Just have him in there somewhere.
No,
have him be a detective practicing bird law.
I like them individually in other things.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't stand an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No, Keiran.
I can stand it. This is cute, Jordan. I can stand it when you're there.
Oh, thanks.
Because I like watching you enjoy it.
Yeah, well, it's good.
But I think that's only because I think there were maybe 6 months every single day where during breakfast you would watch at least one episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I must have watched that whole entire series like at least 5 or 6 times now.
How many series though?
There's like 12 episodes, like 12 series with like 20 episodes in each one.
It's endless. It's completely endless.
I just absorb it again and again and again, and it just doesn't get boring to me.
It's just so shouty.
Yeah,
it's just so shouty, and I just can't deal.
Yeah,
I just can't deal.
Yeah,
I'd bring in Captain Holt.
Yeah, there we go. That's cool. I like that.
From Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Any of the characters from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think, would be good.
The whole thing of like, you want a better captain in there.
Yeah.
Because Dudley Smith's an asshole.
And crooked.
And crooked. So you're going to have...
I mean, you wouldn't have any of the film happen if you had Captain Holt.
Yeah, but he would just shake everything up. He would shake everything up. Because, okay, it's a bit... He became a cop and he was doing his thing and he made his name in like the 80s. The 70s, sorry. So maybe it would have been even harder during the 50s. But
Probably.
Being black...
I don't think there was any black police officers in this film. The only black people in this film were criminals and a boxer.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point.
It was filmed in 1997, though, so it's not really excusable. You should know better by then.
Yeah, but how many black police officers were there in the LAPD?
They don't need to be, but literally the only black people in this film were 3 criminals and a boxer.
How many
a
members
sweaty
of public
boxer.
were there?
I don't know, man. I don't think black people were very well represented in this film.
I mean, they definitely weren't, but I just wonder how realistic it is that they might have been around there anyway, which is obviously not great, but... Okay, but in any case, I think just a bit of Captain Holt spice every now and then would have been very, very necessary.
No, yeah, I agree.
Now, would you stay indoors to watch this film?
No, not at all.
Straight up, no.
Just straight up, no. No, don't even have to think about it.
Wow. Okay.
And it's not even like, I don't know. It's not like the film was so awful it was really difficult to watch and all of that. Like it wasn't. I don't think it was good, and the way it ended, like that pissed me off so much that I feel like it wasted my time.
I just enjoyed the story way too much, and the way that the story twisted round, and like when, for example, like Jack was killed, I was like, I was proper shocked.
Yeah, that did get me.
And I liked how you got to know Lynn a lot more intimately.
Yeah. A little bit.
I enjoyed many of the characters, and even like for me, Dudley Smith was a really good villain.
Yeah, maybe.
So you're just straight up staying outdoors?
Yeah, I'm just straight up staying outdoors. I don't think you could convince me. Like, I definitely would not watch this film again.
Okay,
that's for absolutely damn sure. And I feel like my life would not be any worse off for if I hadn't have seen it in the first place.
I don't know how much it deserves to be on the list, to be honest.
What number was it again?
It was number 107.
Nah, see, that's too high. To think of last week, Jaws was in the 200s. This should not be there.
I just think it's so clever. Like the way how we had such a ridiculously hard time working out the
That's
synopsis.
true. I mean, it's
We
good
essentially
that
didn't
you
do
have
the
no
synopsis.
real idea what's going on until right at sort of the last sort of half hour
where it all clicks together.
Yeah, that's okay. That's if that maybe I don't know enough about detective films. Like maybe that's a really good achievement to be able to do something like that. But I don't know. That personally for me doesn't make a good film.
Okay.
But
I'm not going to dispute that
stay indoors.
I'm not so adamantly on this film's side that I'll be like, no, you have to fucking like this film, and there's something wrong with you, like I have been with other films. I enjoyed it, and I got sucked into it, and I was definitely taken there. So I would stay indoors to watch it. I just think that there's other ones that are more important than this one, and it shouldn't be so high up on the list.
Okay,
cool.
All right. So what are we watching next week?
Next week we are watching Cinema Paradiso.
Okay, that sounds exciting. Sounds like a change of pace.
You sound really excited to watch it.
Well, it just sounds very different, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know how different it's going to be, because considering that this was in Hollywood, in LA and everything.
Yeah.
It would be weird if it was in like another Hollywood film.
Right.
Considering we've also had Sunset Boulevard not too long ago.
Yeah. Don't know why this happens.
We're doing things in... maybe
like the number generator is like making us do things in a certain order or something.
Because we had loads of Nazi films.
Yeah.
And then there's like 3 films that reference France all in one go.
Yeah.
And then there's like now potentially a bunch of films that...
Maybe it's the universe.
Whoa.
250 universal reasons to follow destiny.
Whoa. To live, follow destiny.
To live for tomorrow.
And then we will see you next week.
Cool. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. I have nothing but respect and admiration for dads that wear a vest to the supermarket.
What, just a vest?
Just a vest.
No, Jordan.
Pants.
No pants, just naked.
Just a vest.
Just full on naked. Yeah. From the waist down, just a white vest.
With like bean stains on it.
For God's sake,
No,
Jordan.
I don't have respect and admiration for people that do that at all. That's wrong.
How'd you leave the house?
Put some fucking clothes on.
Where have you put your house keys? Where's your wallet?
They're all up its bum. Its bum.
Jordan.
His bum.
Jordan. It's not the grammar that I'm fussed with. It's the putting wallet up the... 250 Reasons on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can also email your 15-second pitch to
250reasons@gmail.com. Yeah, it's not right. You're right.
Getting
it's not
there.
Right.
Getting there.
And you can listen to us on all the places where you find your podcasts. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Acast, Podbean, Stitcher, YouTube,
all the bloody rest of them.
all of it. So do all those things. Make sure you email in if you've got any requests. And
Put some bloody clothes on.
Put some goddamn clothes on.